Hey guys, we're back on our 30 days of FSA practice, and we are on day 5, which is patterns and rules. And back here helping me is my dog Max, and he's going to wave to you guys. And he is a good boy, so he is going to help us do patterns and rules. So what is a pattern? A pattern is shapes or symbols that are being repeated in a specific order. So when you're trying to figure out a pattern, you need to think, what is being repeated? Rules are used when the pattern has to do with numbers. And when you're trying to figure out what the rule is, you need to say, what operation is going to help me get there? And let's remember that addition and multiplication will increase the value of the next number, while division and subtraction are going to decrease the value of the next number. So let's look at this first pattern. It's using arrows as the shape. So we have a right arrow, a down arrow, a left arrow, a right arrow, a right arrow. That is the start of a pattern. We need to think, what is being repeated? So we don't really see anything getting repeated until we see our third right arrow. And since we have two right arrows next to each other, we see that that's repeating the very beginning part of our pattern where we have right arrow, right arrow. So if I look at that, it shows me right arrow, down arrow. So I'm going to have right arrow, down arrow. After the down arrow, it's left arrow. So I'm going to have that is going to be my next number. After the left arrow, the pattern repeats. So I'm going to have a right arrow again. Okay, Max is saying goodbye. Bye, Max. Our next pattern uses hearts and suns. It goes heart, sun, heart, sun. So I need to think, what is being repeated? I know I have a heart, two suns, two hearts, and a sun. So I know that the original part of the pattern goes heart, sun. It goes heart, sun, and then another sun. So if I have a heart and a sun, I know that it's going to be another sun coming next. After that, I have two hearts, so I'm going to go ahead and put my two more hearts. In our number pattern, that first number pattern, it says 27, 17. So I know that first part is going down. And then it goes back up, which is 34. So I just want to take a minute and just look at those. Look at what is in common about the 27 and the 17. What is in common about the 17 and the 34? Let's go look at the next set of numbers. I have 34. My next number is 24. Do you see any pattern between the 27 and 17 and the 34 and the 24? I do. I notice that they're both going down by 10. So I know that minus 10 is going to be one part of my rule. However, the numbers go back up. I go from 17 to 34. After my 24, my next number is 48. Those numbers are being doubled. And if they're increasing, I know that they are either going to be addition or subtraction. But I add 17 plus 17 to equal 34, but 24 plus 17 does not equal 48. So I know it's not going to be addition. So it has to be multiplication. And what multiplication problem helps us double things? Times 2. So I know my rule is going to be minus 10, then times 2. Let's look at that next problem. I have 2, 3, 5, and 9. This is a harder one because this one is going to have 2 steps for each number in the pattern. So I want us to take a minute, read that to yourself. Think about what you see. I'm going to give you 20 seconds. Okay, that was about 20 seconds. So I'm going to tell you what I realized while I was looking at that. I realized that on every single one of these numbers, they're almost doubling. 5 times 2 is 10, and my next number is 9. 9 times 2 is 18, and my next number is 7. I'm sorry, my next number is 17, which is 1 less than 18. And I know from my last one, 17 times 2 is 34. And my next number is 33, which is 1 less. So, based off of that, I can decide that my pattern is going to be times 2 and minus 1 in the same one. Let's try it if you don't believe me. 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6, minus 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10, minus 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18, minus 1 is 17. Does that start to make sense? Okay. You guys are going to go do your independent work, but please message me if you have any questions at all. Have a great day, guys, and enjoy your weekend.